So you're going to a foreign country and you're worried about the culture etiquette. So this is more important than a lot of people realize. So you're going to France, you're going to Italy, you're going to Germany, you're going somewhere else. So obviously every country is different. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details of every single country here, but I'm going to kind of give you the overall consensus of what you need to know before you go to a foreign country, especially for the first time. And the first thing I'm going to say is learn at least a little bit of the language. Now, obviously, if you're going from America to England, you're not going to have to learn anything new for the most part. But if you're going to Spain, if you're going to France, Italy, learn a little bit of the local language. A lot of people will not do this. They think, oh, everyone speaks English. I'll just speak English, they'll understand me, whatever. That's not, I mean, a lot of people do speak English in the big cities, but it's, again, if we're talking about cultural etiquette, the educational thing to do would be to learn a few words, not for yourself, but for the people in that country. Because I've been to Spain, I've been to a lot of places. If you even know a few words of their language, and they see that you're trying to talk to them, they'll love you immediately. They will go crazy. They will love you immediately because they see that you're trying. Because a lot of tourists, especially from the United States, will go to the other country and act like they own the place, you know, this kind of unpleasant attitude towards the locals, which of course the locals don't like that much. But again, if you make an effort to communicate with them, even if your pronunciation is horrible, even if you can't hardly get out a foreign word, they'll appreciate that you're trying and they'll try to communicate back with you. So learning that foreign language, just a few conversational words, is a very good idea. It's very polite, very helpful. And it's also not that hard, you know, just learning hello, thank you, goodbye, you know, where's the bathroom? And you could easily use Duolingo. You could go to your local library and pick up a little audio book to listen to help you with pronunciation and things like that. Maximum time it's going to take you maybe a week, probably less, just to pick up these very basic things. And it's pretty nice feeling, a nice feeling to know those words, because you won't feel as nervous, you won't feel like you're intruding or anything. It's just a nice thing to know. Then, the next thing, a lot of places in these other countries may have certain dress codes. And I've heard quite a lot of stories of people from the United States that come over, they're wearing the wrong dress code and something unpleasant happens. A common example, if you're going to Italy, they have beautiful churches, of course, beautiful hundreds-of-year-old churches with amazing sculptures, frescoes, artwork. But if you're going in a tank top and some booty shorts, they're not going to let you in. They will not let you in if you're showing your shoulders or your knees for the most part. And of course, too much of the décollage, the upper part of your chest. So basically, if you want to see the inside of those really magnificent churches, you know, make sure your shoulders are covered. Maybe you can wear a scarf or your jacket, long pants or a long skirt to cover your knees, because again, they will not let you in. They kind of just tell you to leave. And that may also be the case with certain restaurants, especially if you're going to a really nice restaurant. Some of the very popular restaurants in the main centers, city centers, they often will also have similar dress codes. Maybe women have to wear a dress, men have to wear a dress shirt. So again, if anything, you know, a lot of people will, it's usually they go in summer, the peak season, you know, they wear all their really light clothing. But if you do plan on going to those more formal areas, you should bring a change of clothes just to make sure you can actually get into the place. Third thing, don't assume that the foreigners think exactly like you, because a lot of times foreigners, I mean, of course, they have a completely different way of life from their different countries, from our countries. So try to not impose certain things upon the locals, because that's just how it is. You know, you're in a different person's country as a guest. You know, you don't. That's not your where you're living at the moment. You know, so of course there are the obvious things like not insulting a person's culture or their way of living. And then there are some less obvious things that may be offensive to, you know, people from other countries, like, this isn't how we do it from where I'm from, or we do it better over here. You know, that's not great, because, you know, those locals will not enjoy being told that their ways are not as good as your ways, or things like that. So, you know, kind of be a bit more careful about how you say things. A lot of people don't even realize how they're saying these things, but you know, just an extra layer of caution. And then, of course, the last and most important thing to consider is respect in general. Of course, it's always important to be respectful, to be polite to people anytime you're traveling, anywhere you're traveling. Observe the local kind of etiquette of respect for that country, because a lot of countries have very specific things that are maybe completely incorrect. Maybe certain dining etiquette, or the way you say things, the way you do things. So, you know, just little things like that. There are many little guides that, for each country even, that go into the more details of certain cultures, especially if you're going really far with your travels, maybe to Asia. You know, their cultures are of course completely different from ours. They have many intricate practices. So it is important to stay respectful with all that in mind. So that is pretty much me wrapping up this topic. If you thought this was helpful, leave a like and maybe subscribe. And I make a few videos throughout the week, so you can stick around for those.